Hi everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name's Lizzie and today I'm here to tell you all about my re-sew-lutions for 2020. So the resolutions that I hope to keep or aim towards with regards to my sewing practice. So in 2020, this is my bullet journal, this is where I track and plan all of my sewing and stuff. I've made a list of my re-sew-lutions for sewing. And some of them are things like habits to continue or habits to form or just things to focus on. So I'm just going to run you through and hopefully it might give you a bit of inspiration of maybe things you might also want to aim towards this year. 2020, I can't believe it's 2020. Anyway, so first one on the list, these aren't in any order of priority by the way, it's just how it fell out my brain. But the first one is to reduce my fabric stash back down to one drawer. My fabric stash has always been this one drawer at the bottom of a chest of drawers we have in our living room. But in the last couple of months I've sort of let it expand a little bit and we now have a little like side table in our living room that's just got like a little pile of fabrics on it. They're like folded nicely, so it's almost like they're on display and they're like some of the pretty ones or some of my newest ones. But it's a bit naughty and I want to reduce it back down so it all does fit in that drawer. For me personally and my sort of mental health and my approach to my sewing and not getting overwhelmed works best when my fabric stash is small. So I'm gonna not buy any more fabric until I've worked through some to get it all back in that one drawer. The next thing on a similar note is I need to get rid of my fabric leftovers is what I call them. And basically, as I'm sure you all know, whenever you make something, you often get left with scraps. But I'm not talking about scraps, I'm talking about like tiny scraps. I'm talking about quite large scraps. Scraps that I've kept because they could potentially be big enough to make something with. And it's getting a bit out of control. I've got two big, like, two boxes, sort of document boxes, full, and it's all stacked like Marie Kondo style. But now I've got more that doesn't fit. And I know there are loads of stash busting things you can do. You can make, you know, makeup bags or make, you know, I make my makeup remover pads and loads of things. You can make toys for children, Christmas tree decorations. I know there are so many scrap busting things that can be done, but I don't want to make those things. Those things are just not things that I want to make, and sewing for me is firmly a hobby that should be fun. I'm just not going to make things for the sake of making them to like use up my scraps. So I need to figure out a way of passing these fabric leftovers on to other people. Maybe you guys, maybe via Instagram, I don't know, but what I'm going to do is get all the pieces out on a nice bright day where I can take photos. I'm going to measure all the pieces and yeah, hopefully maybe I'll do it like a de-stash on my Instagram and just give away. I don't need money for the fabric. It would purely be, I don't know, to cover the cost of postage. But I just want to make sure these fabric scraps, the ones that are big enough to make something else with, get used by another lovely sewist and that they don't end up in landfill. So I'm going to have a think, do maybe a bit of research and work out what the best thing might be to do with these large scraps. If you have any ideas or if anyone UK based or London based knows of maybe any schools, charities, I don't know, anyone that needs fabric, let me know because it all just needs to go to a good home. Next on the list is making toiles, or to keep making toiles, because one of my biggest lessons from 2019 was the value of making a toile. I had to do that to make my wedding dress, and then I've made a few other special pieces since where I've taken the time and the effort to make a toile, adjust the pattern, get the fit right, and it's so worth it. So I'm going to continue doing that this year. And part of the reason that's so important is because I want to, sort of next on the list, is that I want to focus on making clothes that are A, going to last, and B, that I'm going to really love wearing and I'm going to want to wear for a really long time. So that means thinking really carefully about my fabric choices, my pattern choices, like really thinking, is this just maybe a trend piece that I'm not going to want to wear in 6 months' time or a year's time, or is it something that actually I'm going to really enjoy wearing again and again and again and again? So those two kind of go hand in hand. I want to focus on making things that I think I'm going to want to wear a lot. And of course we all make mistakes sometimes. And then I also want to do the whole toiling process to make sure that it's going to fit me as best it possibly can, because then I'm going to get more wear out of it and I'm going to want to wear it more. These are things that I think are really important for us as sewists to think about, because as much as we do skip a link in the fast fashion industry because we're not, you know, our clothes are made by us, they're not made by garment workers in other countries, etc. But we're still consumers, we still are consuming fabric, we're still, you know, creating waste essentially, and I just want to do my bit to try and make sure that the clothes I'm making are going to be worn again and again for many years to come, and that hopefully nothing's going to end up, you know, wasted or in landfill or anything else. And that's, I think, what we can do to try and do our bit to, I think, as much as there's fast fashion, there can be fast sewing, and if you're churning out loads and loads of garments that you don't really wear very many times or you end up getting rid of, that's, you know, that's quite damaging, just the same as buying loads of clothes that you don't wear is damaging. So yeah, that's what I want to focus on this year. Next resolution is alterations. This year I started to go back and alter some of my previous me-made garments that didn't quite end up fitting the best or not the best style, and I've either made minor alterations to improve the fit or I've refashioned a few things. And it's brilliant, and it's so, I've realised how important it is actually, if maybe just taking something in a bit or adding a dart into something or switching the buttons on something, if that's going to give that garment a whole new lease of life and get me excited to wear that garment again, then it's 100% worth it, and I think really important to do it. So yeah, I'm going to do more alterations and refashions of clothes that I already have. The next thing on my list is something that I would like to aim to make, and that is a bralette and knickers. This is something that I haven't really been that interested in making underwear in the past, but I kind of realised this year from seeing other people do it on social media and things that actually if I just want to make a simple sort of triangle shaped bralette with like a matching pair of knickers, it's not going to need very much fabric, and I'm hoping that if I were to say go to a class maybe and learn how to do it properly with the help of a teacher, that, you know, I could then presumably churn out little bralettes and knickers quite quickly and easily, because they're only small, and lingerie can be really expensive, and I think why not try learning to make it? Like, knickers are like such small amounts of fabric. So yeah, I really want to try and do that this year so that I can make my own more affordable but also nicer underwear that's in the exact style I want it to be in. Then, along a similar vein, something that I want to sew. I want to sew something for my poor husband. Alex and I got married this year. We've been together now for 8 years and married for however many months. Married for 8 months. But I've never sewn him anything, and he is so supportive of my sewing hobby and of my YouTube channel and everything else, and I just feel really bad that I've never made him anything. But then he's quite fussy about his clothes. He buys his clothes pretty much exclusively from Ralph Lauren, just because that's a brand he likes and it fits him, and he literally buys clothes once a year, like when there's a sale. He doesn't have that many clothes, and the clothes he does have he then keeps for years. But I think I need to make him something, even if it's just a tie. I want to make him something to say thanks for being so supportive of my hobby, and like share a little bit of my hobby with him. A new skill I want to learn this year is how to do buttonholes, and I've got some of the equipment now that you will know if you've watched my what I got for Christmas video that I'll link in one of the corners now. But yeah, I really want to learn to make buttonholes, because it's at the point now where I feel like I'm ready to, like, I want to make blouses and things, but I'm preventing myself from doing it because I'm just intimidated and scared of buttonholes. So if I can learn how to tackle buttonholes, then it will open up a whole new world of things that I can make without being terrified of, or without feeling that I can't make it because of buttonholes. I want to try and focus on making more workwear this year, because again, as I've mentioned, it's really important to me that I focus on making clothes I'm going to wear all the time. But I've hardly made any workwear really in the grand scheme, and I'm at work 5 days a week, so I spend the majority of my time at work, and so I want to focus on making things I can wear then. And also, because I've been making clothes and I've barely bought any clothes in recent years, My work wardrobe is starting to get a bit tatty and old, and it does need a bit of a refresh with like a few carefully selected new items. But because I don't want to buy them, I've just kind of left, you know, I just need new work clothes basically, and I don't want to buy them, so I'm gonna make them. I would like to learn to darn, because I have a ready-to-wear jumper that I got from M&S several years ago, and for years it's been my favourite jumper that I just wear all winter long, and it's got two great big holes in each elbow. And I mean, I presume it is fixable. I hope it's fixable if I learn how. I think it's, is that the term, darning? I mean, I've seen on Instagram some amazing content of people who fix things, so I would like to learn to do that so I can repair this woolen jumper that has two big elbow holes in it and give it a new lease of life. Lastly, this is more of a sewing plan, I guess, but I just wanted to throw it in for fun. I want to make something utterly fabulous with the fabric that I bought within the last month or so from the new craft house. It's, in fact, let me get it and I will show you. This fabric. So I showed this to you guys a few videos back in my sewing plans video, or fabric haul or whatever it was. And this is going to be a dress that I wear to like weddings this summer. That's the plan. And I want this to be this year's equivalent of my satin floral navy dress that I made last year, and that dress is just such a success. I took the time to make a toile, it fits me really nicely, I love it, and that's what I want this to be for this year. I want it to be a project that I really take my time with, go the extra mile to work out the details and the fit and everything else. And I've got in my head that I want it to be like fitted at the top with a big structured full skirt, and I want to add some sort of trim in like another colour to bring out one of the colours within the fabric. But yeah, I'm just really excited to turn that into a project that I really take my time with to make sure that I end up with something fabulous that will just be an occasion dress that I will have in regular rotation for special events and weddings and things. So there you have it. Those are all of my sewing goals and resolutions for 2020. I hope you've enjoyed hearing all about them. Do give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more of my videos. I'd love to hear from you in the comments as always. In fact, I've been meaning to say to you guys, just thank you so much for all of your amazing comments throughout 2020. I'm really sorry that I'm not very good always at replying. I kind of have bouts where I'll reply to loads and then have a bit of a hiatus where I don't for a while, but some of you have left such wonderful comments for me over the last year or longer, you know, for the whole time. And some of you, I've had a few of you comment recently who've said, oh, I've been following you since the beginning of your like YouTube channel, and said lovely things about how I've sort of developed as a sewist and all that kind of thing, and it's just, it means the world, and it's just so lovely. So thank you. I really appreciate when you take the time to write me a comment, and I do read all of them even if I don't reply. But yeah, thanks ever so much for watching, and Happy New Year, and yeah, see you in the next one. Bye!